My name is Miss Becky, and this is Curious Minds.
I want to know.
I think it's a responsibility to...
No, it's supposed to be everyone's responsibility. Quiet. As I was saying, the children proved the point. We spoke responsibly about our rights and also our responsibilities, and also the fact that we have something positive to say. And the Children's Act and the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child grant us that right. We went on about our education, issues of abuse, and also the progress we are making. What's more,
enough. We know we have to tune in to Uniiq Curious Minds, Saturdays at 11:15 a.m. prompt. Fellows, the message is clear. What is it?
Uniiq Curious Minds.
It's going to be...
Man made the plane, man made the guns, man made the bombs, man made the ships, man made the cars, man made the woman, but who
Well,
made
children
the
have a
man?
special way of doing it. And on Uniiq Curious Minds, the difference shows. This is Shasha Mali. Keep listening. One love.
At first, I thought it was not possible. Children at the center of running their own program. But it was real as I tuned into Uniiq Curious Minds on 95.7 FM. I realized that children can do it and excel. The issues were varied: HIV, AIDS, and children, Fast Corner with so much information, Shining Brains where we test our wits, and many more. The little secret is that just after the news at 11 in the morning every Saturday, the Uniiq Curious Minds bus will be ready for boarding. Make a date and you won't regret you did. Uniiq Curious Minds, getting children heard in their responsible ways.
Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us.
Just the two of us.
Just the two of us. Building them castles in the sky. Just the two of us. You and I.
Hello, I'm Marcel Desai, and you're listening to Uniiq Curious Man.
I want to know. Everybody wants to know. I want to know. Everybody wants to know. I want to know. Everybody wants to know. Oh, I want to know. Everybody wants to know. Oh! Who made the sun? Who made the moon? Who made the stars? Who made the earth? Who made the water? Who made the wind? Who made the planets of this universe? I want to know.
Water and sanitation issues are very vital when we are talking about the health of young people. It is unfortunate to be told that many children under the age of 5 die because of diarrhea and similar conditions. The question we ask is, what are we doing to ensure appropriate sanitation in our communities? What is not working well? Can we meet the Millennium Development Goal on sanitation? It's time once again for Uniiq Curious Minds, where we blaze the trail in young people's development advocacy. My name is Bint Alasan and it's edition CM04022012TK. It will be nothing but the issues as we advance the cause of young people. Stay tuned.
Who made the bees? Who made the flowers? Who made the trees? Who made the darkness? Who made the lights? Who made the laws of what's wrong and right?
The program is Uniiq Curious Minds on Uniiq 95.7 FM, where we blaze the trail in young people's program. And before we move on to this important agenda, we shall have reports from our correspondents we sent out to update us on what is happening in our communities in relation to proper management of toilet facilities. And you can also join us on our Facebook page, Curious Minds Ghana, and tell us how accessible toilet facilities are in your various communities. But let me start with this interesting question. Miranda, have you been confronted with a situation where you had to answer nature's call but had nowhere to turn to?
Yeah,
Probably late in the night.
Late in the night, no, but maybe sometimes in town, and maybe I find it so difficult to go to someone's house and beg, or maybe there's nowhere to have access to this public facility to feel fine. So.
No, but just imagine the state in which you are in at that point in time, finding it difficult to go to somebody's house. Is that what you think at that moment?
No, what really comes to mind is you just want to get rid of it. So wherever you get or any convenience place, you just want to get rid of it. But that's it. But sometimes it's so difficult thinking of going to someone's house and going to knock or press a bell and just tell the person, please, I want to use your washroom.
To do what? Okay, what about you?
Okay, for me, I don't really see it as I wouldn't feel shy going to someone's house to ask, but I haven't been confronted with such a problem. Yes, I haven't. But my problem is visiting places where there's a big toilet facility for everyone, and then it's a pit with sticks on it, and you have to put 2 feet on 2 sticks, and then
You squat.
you squat. And it wasn't so comfortable for me. Yeah.
People are not being realistic here. Evelyn, I know you've been confronted with one situation. So please tell me what happened. No, Evelyn, please be realistic.
Yeah, but that was a long time ago.
But it still happened.
I was somewhere. I went to Tema, and on my way back home, it started from there. I didn't know.
What's happening?
I felt some things in my stomach.
What a fly saying.
Wanted to release them or free myself from them. So you realize that when it happens like that,
You'll be sweating.
when you seriously, you'll be sweating, and then when working, okay, you realize that if you don't take time,
You are there.
You disgrace yourself.
you disgrace yourself. So it's like when you work maybe fast a little, when it's coming, you have to stand for some time.
For it to move back.
I'm sure you have to work majestically. Just that.
Well, sometimes you need to just lean on something. Seriously, some people even jump. Seriously, it's serious. You need to jump. Excuse me to say this. Some even use saliva just to put on their nipple.
No.
Sorry. So you realize that it's serious. And that day, all jokes aside, I had to beg this woman just to do this, just to free myself from this thing. So seriously, when it happens, it's like, I don't know, you don't have words to explain unless you feel or you experience it before you know what I'm really talking about.
Okay, Esther.
Okay, mine, it happened at an expedition we went to, where we normally call it cafe. We couldn't find the key. And we have to, from that place to where you get the one she was talking about, the stakes, it's quite far. So I have to walk from that place to that place, and I didn't find it easy at all. When I go, I stop.
It goes like that.
No, all the girls in the city are really telling us what is really happening. Gebash, I'm sure you've also been confronted with a situation like that. Please come to Mike and tell me how it was for you. Probably as a guy, you'll be able to, hold things a little.
In fact, Binta, I have experienced a lot when it comes to, having access to toilet facilities and, conveniently easing myself. First thing is that in my house there isn't any toilet facility, and the school that I attended, my basic school and secondary school, had no toilet facilities. So right from the basic level to the secondary school, you have to imagine some of the things students of my school, including myself, going through. I quite remember in SS2 during examination time, I think we were writing social studies, and 1 hour into the time, as in writing the paper, I realized that I had to stand and then visit a close or a nearby toilet in order to do my own thing there. And well, looking at the distance from my school to the facility, I tried my best. At least I got to the place, and when I was about to get to the actual place, I realized that I had done the thing.
Hey, before getting you did the do before you got to the place.
Sure.
Wow.
Because I couldn't control myself, but I was lucky because it wasn't outside. It was inside. Well, so this is something, a personal experience, and it didn't only happen to me, but a number of my friends. So these are some of the things that students especially go through. Yeah.
I'm sure you out there are also remembering some of your encounters and what you have to go through. You can also join us on Facebook and tell us what you think. And today we are looking at ensuring sanitation, the state of toilet facilities. Toilet facility is one important thing that we can't do away with as human beings. And looking at what you guys have already said tells you that, there are some things we can never do away with. But with all that you said, do you think sanitation problem is really an issue you have to discuss there?
Yeah, sure. Binta, it is really an issue. And when we talk about sanitation, then we'll be talking about, general issues, having access to, potable water, and also looking at how clean our environment is. Come 2015, we all hope to achieve the Millennium Development Goals, and Goal 7 of the Millennium Development Goals, which actually came out of the Millennium Declaration in the year 2000 when world leaders met, is actually hoping to make sure that at least 54% of the population of various countries have access to improved toilet facilities. But as at 2010, out of these 54%, Ghana has only been able to reach 13%, meaning as at 2010, only 13% of Ghanaians, had access to improved toilet facilities. So we should be asking ourselves, when would we, reach the 54% we hope to get by 2015? I believe it's a big problem we should all be talking about. I don't know if I should go on to, talk about the situation in my community and perhaps my personal experience. Not long ago, I went round, my community to see how the situation there is like, as in people having access to toilet facility. And I realized that my community only has 2 public toilets, and people or those living there don't like going to those facilities because, one, they feel those there are charging more than they should, and especially with children, if you get there without money, you'll be sacked. You wouldn't be allowed to go in, and the children often at times don't like going there because when they get there and they join a long queue and the time is even due for them to go, an elderly person will come and then drive them out. That, hey, Charlie, I have my own reputation to protect. After all, you are a child. There wouldn't be any reputation for you to protect. So children don't prefer going there. They rather enjoy doing their own thing in a bush around, which even we have ladies going there because they feel that place you wouldn't have people worrying you. So that is how the situation is like when I visited the place. And with the children, I realized that to them, some of them are being influenced to, smoke because when they get there, they see the elderly people smoking in the toilet, and sometimes they are coerced to also, do the smoking, which I think it's a very bad thing, and we should look at that as well in the course of the program.
Yeah, so from what you said, it shows, or it tells clearly that toilet facilities are not accessible in our communities. Miranda, what about yours?
I really agree with Gabriel because even in some places you realize that even in the cubicles when you enter, maybe the door lock is not well, so when you go there you don't have your privacy, you cannot lock it. So many things. Sometimes there are some people who or those taking the money, sometimes they give papers, others give toilet rolls and stuff. Sometimes you get there and it's finished, and because of that you cannot go back home, especially when you're having a running stomach. You cannot go back home and go and get yours and come. So I think there are also some of the things or some of the challenges that people face.
I think in where the latrine is, you realize that it's far from my area. So sometimes if maybe let's say that midnight when you are feeling like going there, it's like, is it that you do it, excuse me to say, in a rubber bag, black polythene, and just throw it away on the streets or in a gutter or even in a bin. So you realize that when you wake up in the morning, you see a lot of them. It's either in the gutter or in uncompleted buildings. You realize that we see some of these things there. So in my area too, this thing is going on, and I pray some years to come, maybe by 2015, as a country would be able to achieve that goal 7.
When we talk about accessibility of toilet facilities, in my school it happens. Because we have the toilets all right, but it's kind of like on Saturdays after we finish working, they lock the places. So there's no place to go and then ease yourself. And so what people do is that they do it in a polythene bag and then throw it over the roof. They do it
rock and roll.
And when
even
you are caught,
including the ladies.
when you are caught, you are brought to.
No, give us his accent, including the ladies.
Oh, they do it. And the girls side, they do it.
So meaning you have.
Someone has been caught before and then the person was duped Fly Emirates, and that has become her name now. She's called Fly Emirates.
So that also draws my attention to a similar situation I encountered when I, spoke with children from 2 public basic schools in my community, and to them the toilet facilities are there in their school, all right, but as a student or pupil you would have to bring a gallon of water to school before you have access to the toilets. So most of them are not able to bring it, and therefore they often had to find their own means of getting to a toilet facility which are far from their school. So therefore they do miss some lessons in class. They also use it as an excuse to play truancy, which I think isn't the best thing to talk about at all. And also in this same community, which is located in La, here in Accra, most of the houses I visited did not, have toilets, as in their own toilet facilities, because they are even battling with a place to sleep. So instead of finding a place for a toilet facility, they would rather build, a house to, rent out to people. So it's an issue we should also be looking at. And the state of the toilet facilities we have are not good at all. You go there and you meet all sorts of things which I wouldn't really, want to mention. Those who have been to those places,
I'm sure our listeners are really probably some of them are eating and you're mentioning.
And I don't know if people of La somehow are fortunate because they have the sea close by and then a very big place called the bush. So, a number of them avoid going to the toilet facilities because they see, they call it free aircon. You wouldn't have anyone to ask you to pay something, and then it's there for you to always visit, whether day or night and stuff. You can go there without any hindrance, so they prefer that place.
Okay, Esther.
Also in my school, we have the place. It's very neat, but it's just opposite a class. So when you are going, they will see you. So students don't prefer there. So you have to go and ask the gateman so that you go to the boundary. There's a certain public toilet over there, boundary. And when you go the gateman, because some people use that to run away.
Yeah.
So he will tell you no, and then they'll go to the urinal and then do it there and leave it for.
In your school, then you have no problem with toilet facility because the facility is there.
Yeah,
you
but
are allowed to go, but you are saying.
I don't know.
So where would you have?
Supposed to be shy of net. I'm sure that if you have the very tight one, you
wouldn't look at the urinal because that place when you go, you can close it. When somebody's coming, the person will knock, so you can just then you leave.
No, but most of our schools, even the school I attended, a school day where we have all the students in school, and then you go there and this place is locked. It happened to me once. It was very, very pathetic. You have right in, like, I don't know whether it was due to the mass that we were, because the whole class we weren't getting what the teacher was teaching. So I don't know if that was what turned my tummy, and then I had to run out of class. You get there and the place is locked. Oh my God! Well, I didn't know where to turn to, and I was just there now.
So it happened, right? It happened.
It happened. So one way or the other, we all go through things like this. So I'm okay, Miranda.
Even in senior high school, in my school, for instance, on Saturdays, when we are having inspection, we are supposed to clean the place, wait for the teacher on duty to go for inspection. Yeah. If the person has not gone for inspection, you have to hold it. And it's so difficult sometimes. That's when the rock and roll comes in. Why should the students wait? She can't wait. Meanwhile, you're expecting her to go for prep that morning, and you're waiting for the teacher to come for the inspection before you go there. Because if you go there and you are caught, you'll be punished. So that's when the rock and roll comes in. So sometimes the facilities are there, but the accessibility is a problem.
Okay, if you just joined us, the program is Uniiq Curious Minds, so Uniiq 95.7 FM, where we blaze the show in young people's program, and we are looking at ensuring sanitation, the state of our toilet facilities. I'm sure you are also remembering or thinking of your encounter some time ago. You can also share with us on our Facebook page, Curious Minds Ghana, and tell us how accessible toilet facilities are in your community and probably your encounter with that also. We are going for a short break. We'll be right back.
My name is Miss Becky, and this is Curious
My
Minds.
name is Karina Ashele Ashkwe Ama Opoku Kuda Efia Kofi. Keep listening to Uniiq Curious Minds.
Hello, I'm Marcel Desai, and you're listening to Uniiq Curious Man.
My name is Miss Becky, and this is Curious Minds.
Hello, I'm Marcel Desai, and you're listening to Uniiq Curious Man.
Uniiq 95.7 megahertz. Uniiq 95.7 megahertz.
Yes, that was Nakores with Oriba. You know when the thing is Riba, I'm sure you can't hold it. And Oriba, everybody is coming to look at you. You feel very miserable. So if you just join us, the program is Uniiq Kiosk Minds on Uniiq 95.7 FM, where we blaze the trail in young people's programming, and we are looking at ensuring sanitation, the state of our toilet facility. You can also join us on our Facebook, and we are asking how accessible are toilet facilities in your community. Are they in good condition? And we have this messages. This from Pirita Jupi in Finland. She's saying very accessible. There are public toilets in all the public buildings, example libraries, and usually they are very clean too. And you can also use toilets of restaurants and cafes, although you might have to pay a small fee if you don't buy anything. Also, all the gas stations such have public toilets. Yeah. And this is also from Ishmael Kujo in Ghana. He says, I would say it's okay in my community. I'm sure the okay has something to do. This is also from Lynn Ajwa from Cantonment. Interesting comments from your panel. I'm enjoying the topic. My home has a toilet. We all wish you can see our home has toilets, but if you are one of the unfortunate people who have to wake up very early to queue, a very long queue, and then have to pay something, then you will say you're not very fortunate. Before we went for the break, we were looking at how or why is it not accessible. Gebash mentioned because people would love to use their land for buildings. Apart from that, why is it not really accessible to us?
Sometimes looking at the distance, looking at your location, where you are staying and where you have to walk to just to have access to it also prevents or makes it difficult for people to have access to such facilities.
Yeah. And we some people think when they go there, especially the women or the girls, if I should say, they think they might get white, that is candidizes. They think they will get that.
Is it a matter of they think, or is it a matter of
you get it? Yeah, you'll be. I mean, so definitely you rather prefer maybe the seaside or the bush. But some people even, excuse me to say, do this in their bathrooms. Mm-hmm. They just do it, pour water and it's serious.
I'm sure Evan cannot even say what she has to say. What do you have to say about that?
Okay, I want to talk about one incident I came across when I traveled to Buzia. That was last year. When in the whole community, there's just one public toilet, and it's in the school. So it was meant for the kids. And then the moms and the dads go to the place, and then the place is full. No one is taking the thing out, and so it's locked.
They're just adding to what is already
now
there.
Nobody is using it, and so when the kids want to visit nature, they would have to walk to the beach, and then sometimes when they go, they don't even come back to the class. Yeah, that is another problem.
Okay, so in the absence of a facility like this, where do we tend to? Earlier on, Gebash was saying the beach. Do you think the beach is also the best place? Because looking at our water body, are we really securing our water body?
Binta, it's not secure, but it's like you have no option, and that's the place you have to.
So when you told us about your issue where you were in Tema, if there was a sea nearby,
you would have got to squat. By then,
that was the only option.
If that was the only option, I would have gone there. Seriously, okay. I'm just being frank with you guys. Yeah. But I think it's not. Yeah, it's true. We have to be. Realistic with people. So I think with this, it's like assuming you have only one latrine in your area. Okay. And there's a lot of queue there. You rather go there because, or maybe if you go there, you might get some sicknesses like white, or the place is not neat. You see a whole lot of issues. So it's like that's the only option you have as at that time. Okay. So I think it's like not that we are not as human beings, we don't want to go to the latrine facility like the latrine, but just that's the only place we have to do.
But you see, Binta, you earlier asked if it was good for a person to go to the seaside and have his or her own thing, done there. But I must say that it's not good. You see, we are trying to promote our tourist sites, which I believe the coastal areas are also included. So imagine visiting a beach and then seeing
wonderful things.
Yeah, those things parading themselves. How are tourists going to feel seen? Them? And when you pay a visit to some parts of, you would really see how these things are. They aren't good at all, even the stench. But you see, those who normally visit the bush, they do have a strong argument that their feces normally fertilizes the soil. So
manure.
Yeah, manure for the soil, and therefore they think they should rather be encouraged to visit those sites often in order to make those who grow, crops and maize there for them to make sure that they get a bumper harvest. So it's something we should look at. But the fact is that, especially in my community, I must say that some of us are suffering because you wake up early in the morning and prepare to bath, and you get to the bathhouse and you meet, feces. I don't feel really comfortable mentioning it in your bathhouse. And sometimes you see that.
I've seen in my
sure,
community,
it happens. It happens.
You want to bath and you enter the bathhouse and you go and meet this thing.
Early in the morning.
You don't even feel like bathing anymore.
And sometimes directly in my house, you do receive some of their packages in the wrappers. Sure, it happens. Some members of the communities have taken upon themselves to come up with their own, let's say, private, toilet facilities. But what some of them have also been doing is that in the night, you see, they will open it up into the gutters. So you wake up to see, those things passing through the normal drainage system, which I think isn't the best, because the stench which even comes out of those drainage things is infectious and could affect. And here we are expecting to achieve Goal 6 of the Millennium Development Goals. Goal 6 is actually talking about, making sure that we put or halt the spread of malaria, cholera, and other diseases. So it will really be difficult for us to achieve that goal if we continue experiencing poor sanitation.
And just in line with what Gabriel said about people going to the bush and having their arguments, we also realize that sometimes most people also like to dig and then do it there and cover it. They also have their own arguments and all. But I think
in the cities, when you go to the villages, I think they are good in those things. And I think we should, emulate it, because they don't even have access to, those nice facilities, we do have in Accra. But they've learned that, well, it's good for you to, have a very good sanitation, and therefore they wouldn't rather do the rock and roll or go to the bathhouse and have it done there. But they've learned that I would go to a place which is far from my house, dig a hole, have it done there, cover it, which wouldn't be exposed to, let's say, humans or flies going to have contact to that and then bringing it back to the house, which I think could be dangerous. So it's good, something which must be emulated and encouraged.
Okay, let's look at the implications it has on we human beings. What are the implications when we don't have such facilities in our various communities?
Just like Gibas just said, if it is exposed and flies get onto it, they'll just come back to our foods and then we get sicknesses. And then there are other people too who find it difficult to do other things when they see certain things. So if things like that or feces are exposed and someone should just see it, whatever, maybe it can just put the person off the whole day, and that can bring down productivity. So if I'll see it and it's going to affect my whole day, when I go to work, I'm not going to put in my very best. Or when I go to school as a student, I can't put in my very best because it will just spoil my whole day and my mood. So I think in one way or the other, it puts some people off, and it prevents them from giving out their best when it comes to activities or work.
Okay, so with the issue of accessibility, what do you think, or how do you think we can make such places accessible?
I think we spoke about the shortage of the papers and the toilet rolls and other things. I think those in charge should make sure that there is always enough toilet rolls or papers for the people to use. Also, keeping the place neat or clean is also one thing that is very, very important. Having good locks for the doors so that one can have his or her privacy when you enter
no discrimination, whereby an adult will come and sack a child and tell you you are a child, so take your time. They should rather consider the child, because if you, the adult, you cannot hold it, then no, you shouldn't expect the child to hold it. So if you, the adult, cannot hold it and wait, then you should just know that then the child is really suffering. So I think these are some of the things we can do.
Okay, and Binta, the closeness to the place to count. It has to be closer to us so that if anything, we can just go there and do our own.
So that is why our local authorities, and with specific reference to the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, as in all households or houses should have a toilet facility there. It is a bylaw or part of the AMA's bylaw, but we should see or assess if this bylaw is really being implemented. I remember some time ago, if not last year, then last 2 years, the AMA chief executive officer came out to even give an ultimatum for all houses in the Accra metropolis to establish or build their own toilet facility. But I don't think this has really been done here in Accra. So implementation of the bylaws, I believe, would work, and also educating and making people become aware of the fact that having access to a toilet facility, which should be an improved one, which should also be close to you, will be the best way forward. Because if you always focus on having a place to lay your head, and you don't look at other areas that will make you have good standard of living, at the end, all the effort you make in terms of trying to get money for yourself, you would channel that money to solving your health problems. And I believe as a country, we shouldn't be experiencing these things. We are hoping to achieve the Millennium Development Goals, which various nations are spending huge sums of money in making sure that things are done. But as citizens, we also have a role to play, because landlords do not even think of building toilets in their various houses. They only look at their commercial interest, making sure that they have the houses for people to come and rent in order for them to get their money. So this is where those who normally rent houses also come in. If you visit and then the landlord hasn't built any toilet facility, you can refuse. But this also brings about a problem, because we have a very huge housing deficit where so many people are looking for houses, and therefore when they even visit a house and there isn't any toilet facility, they wouldn't bother. They are compelled to settle in. So it's a very huge problem for Ghana as a developing country.
As for me, I don't really know for the public toilets. I don't really know whether they work 24 hours. But if they don't, some do, then I think it should be encouraged. Everybody should. Like all those who so there should be a shift system, so that if these people work in the morning, the rest will come and work in the evening. Because somebody might get a running stomach at midnight.
Those toilets,
you cannot lock the place up. So
but
I think
those toilets are not locked up. It's always open, even when the attendants or those who normally collect the money are not there. So some even wait till, let's say, 11 p.m. or 12 midnight for them to visit them, because they know when they get there, those attendants wouldn't be there.
Our message is this from Oboda in
my namesake.
The few public toilets in my community aren't attractive at all. Why won't people visit the bush, the sea, or do fly Emirates as
this
a
guy
family member?
Should live in my area.
And this is also from Lisa Owuswa in Kumasi. I think every house must have a toilet facility. Let's leave the public toilets for visitors, travelers, and for emergencies only. Landlords must act fast. And it's also from the day in Osu. No toilet facility, no proper hygiene. Yeah, that's what she's telling us. Thank you very much, Cecil, for our Facebook page. Let's look at this lastly, with the issue of having a toilet facility in your homes and other places. Who should make the first step?
I think everybody, in the sense that if you have your own house, you shouldn't sit down and wait for the government or the AMA to promise you or tell you, I'll bring you this, before you have access to a toilet facility. If you build your house, make sure at least you have it. You have a toilet facility, so that you wouldn't be doing rock and roll, fly Emirates and the others.
You see, the first and foremost responsibility lies on us as Ghanaians, as individuals. We've been programmed in such a way that, well, there are times you feel hungry and therefore you buy food to eat or you drink. So God has also programmed us
everything.
That
so
after eating and then drinking and enjoying yourself, relaxing, you have to sure. So if you pay attention to the physical side as in eating and stuff, you should also pay attention to the other side too. So that is where you focus on building a place for yourself, so that when the time is due, you go there conveniently and have it done without any problem. Okay, so when you move from the individual's role, then you move to those landlords. Okay, it should be part of the building, system. Before you are given, let's say, a building permit or so, they should make sure that toilet facilities are part of your plan before you are given that permit. And then there should be regular checks by our various, metropolitan district assemblies or our local authorities, that they visit houses on regular basis to make sure that they comply with the bylaws we have that, are in existence. And also I'm calling on the government and then the various, local authorities to make, those public toilets available. They should build more and also maintain it properly, because you visit there and then what you see is normally something which is not worth talking about.
Yeah, if anyone is going in for a building and insists that he or she wants a toilet attached, it would make landlords proactive, so they put up such facilities whenever they are building too.
But I agree with you, okay, but let's assume that
Evelyn, please, I need your wrap-up statement at this point.
I just wanted to say that we as individuals, we should make sure we have latrine in our houses, in our various houses, and make sure that even if there's no water, try your best to get water. After doing it, then you flush it.
I believe so far as you've thought of putting up a building, you should think of putting up a toilet facility as well, because it's really deplorable when you go to places like the police barracks I've seen, and then there's no sort of like toilet facility.
It's just like
some people go to rent houses and they think of electricity instead of toilet facility. I think they should think of the toilet facility.
So just as Gebash said it, if you think of eating, think of the other side.
I don't think infections is just a matter of getting it in the public toilets. When you build your toilet facility at home, you should think of infections and other diseases. So you have to use disinfectants and other things so that you protect yourself.
Having access to toilet facilities alone isn't enough. Make sure that after even having access to it, you have clean water plus soap. You wash your hand properly, so that if even the toilet isn't clean enough, the water and soap would cater for your hygiene and stuff.
So yes, I'm sure Gebash has said it all and he has wrapped it up nicely on a nice note for us. No, having the toilet facilities alone is not enough, but I'm sure of its maintenance. Talking about its maintenance, we'll look at it in our subsequent program, and this is where we draw the curtains on today's program, and we looked at ensuring sanitation, the state of toilet facilities in our various communities. Those here from our all members of the junior wing of the Children and Youth in Broadcasting Kiosk Minds. Our sound engineer has been Simon Odatelamte. Our production assistant is Torgbor-Ashong and Sister Tukwam Nadadi. Our producer and coordinator is and has always been Kingsley Obeng-Kyereh. I've been your presenter, Binta Hassan. So you come your way same time next week. I'm sure all landlords should act fast and act now.
Uniiq 95.7 megahertz.
Now I got Sama wa benu kotina shendemi. Sama wa benu tai no mi odemia. Oh kashiram. Damara no ye. Ina na damara no ti. Devia. Damara no ye. Ina na damara no ti. Alright, Rascapa, I wanna hear that. Yes, I love it. Alright, give me that beat, man. I'm jolly.